That, and just like that, you're back. You're back on your favorite place to be. You're back on cryptocurrency theory. And you're back with a schmucky kind of Sunday face to go with ya. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to your favorite place to be. You are at your favorite place to be, hopefully. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But you are here, guys. You're back on the 24-hour show that we do here on the channel. We got a lot of things popping off over the next couple of weeks, so please stay tuned. Something like that. I think something like that. We do have people rolling down to the chat, guys. We have people running down to the chat. I hope you guys got the updates. There is a lot of updates coming, and there's a lot of stuff happening in crypto, guys, that we're going to be discussing over the next few weeks. So I guess first off, crack my fingers there. We are going to be giving you a live show here in the next few weeks. These are going to be coming to you in the direct access of live morning streams. I haven't figured out the time slot for them quite yet, but I would guarantee that it's going to be sometime in the morning over the next few weeks. We're going to be doing live streams all the time. Monday through Friday thing to start. We might roll into the Saturday, Sunday at a later start date. We've been talking to a couple different people here that we associate with, and we might be bringing some new type, nuanced things to the channel. Yes, all crypto related, of course, and the updates that you quite love, of course. Various multi-personalities of the same person. Something like that. Guys, we are going to be doing a lot of live streams coming up here on Cryptocurrency Theory, so if you're not subscribed, that would be your number one thing to do, because if I see that thing growing, I start getting excited. You know what I mean? We start getting excited here. We are going to dive into a couple different things, as always. We're going to go through your favorite comments. If we feel like it. Probably will. We'll be going through the prices here. Obviously, guys, the prices have been on the move. I don't know that your buying's been on the move. I know inflation can be tough. Life can be tough, guys, but you know what? That's no excuse. We'll be going through the crypto news like we always do. We'll touch that over. It takes about 10 seconds. We'll be taking a peek at some interesting things happening. There is some interesting things happening that I've kind of been following in my own communities. We'll dive into that. And of course, if you drop it in the comments, we'll get to it at some point. We know people will be joining and running down just as fast as they possibly can to the channel here on Cryptocurrency Theory, because it's a cool, fully composed show. We do try to make it fully composed for you every single episode. That way, you know what to expect here. Okay, and another thing, you guys haven't been sending any tips, okay? I work on tips, you know what I mean? I'm in the gratuity business. So as always, that QR code is in the top right corner. All you do is go to your Bitcoin Cash wallet, you scan it, and you press send all, and then you send it just as fast as you can there, guys. Just kidding here, but that QR code is in the top right corner. I do get those payments. I used to be getting them all the time. I don't know what happened to you guys. I think people started getting kind of cheap. Ever since they moved the 2 for $3.99 to 2 to $4.99 at McDonald's. So I have noticed like a little bit of a setback there. You guys haven't been tipping as much, but it is up there. We just hit $500 on Bitcoin Cash. And the reason, guys, that we put Bitcoin Cash up there is not so much because we think it's the only coin that's going to do well, because we know that that's not the case here. The reason that Bitcoin Cash QR code is in the top right corner, because if I put Bitcoin, nobody'd send me anything. See, because the transaction cost, it wouldn't make much sense to. But nonetheless here, guys, it is in the top right corner. I do like getting those payments. It's like actually more exciting than anything that I can really think of at the frontal lobe of my brain. It's one of the coolest things that I do is get those QR payments QR code payments. Well, first I learned to talk, and then I say, get those QR payments to me just as quick as you can. You know, just as quick as you can. It is in the top right corner for a reason. And as you guys know, a lot of people have been asking me. They've been reaching out, and they've been asking me about the, you know, how can they support the channel more? How can they be part of this great channel and get us where we need to be and get us as a community where we need to be? And I just say, it starts with you guys. It starts with the QR code in the top right corner. And then potentially one of these days, I'd like to think there might be a day in the horizon. You know, I see the stars aligning, that there might be somebody out there that wants to join our membership for $4.99. $499 US dollars. Don't know what you get, but it is there, guys, for your viewing. Not sure why you'd want to join this channel for $499 per month, but you know, like I told you guys before when I made that, the whole thing was behind that was, you know, there are people out there that spend money on the dumbest crap, and I say if you want to spend something on the dumbest thing, you know, you can actually support the channel by joining that membership for $499 per month. And yet nobody has. But we are optimistic. And obviously, as you guys know, the jokes are going to be coming all night long. Let's go and adjust that volume there. It's a little bit red there. But yeah, we will jump into something serious, I think, at some point. But I did want to let you guys know that that stuff is available for you. You know, in the top right corner, Bitcoin Cash transactions do get alerted to me immediately. So if you do send one, let me know. And we'll definitely, we'll let you know how much you sent. We'll let everybody know. We'll let you guys know how cheap everybody is. Something like that. No, I don't think that's what it is. You don't, I guess that's probably not good. Creating a good rapport is talking shit about the amount you guys send me. But it is there in the top right corner, guys. That QR code is there all the time. It's sitting there all the time, right in your face, with a click of a button. And you know, you can always hit the wrong button and send me all of it. But it is there for your spectacle, and so is the membership. At $4.99, I think it was $499, $599 US dollars per month. So all jokes aside, guys, we will jump into the chat. I just like having a little bit of fun when we get on here. You guys are watching my favorite crypto place to be, Cryptocurrency Theory. We've been here on the internet for over quite a bit of time here, and you might be asking yourself, why the big introduction? Why are you pepping this channel up all of a sudden? Well, we're going to be doing a lot of live streams here coming up. I told you guys over the last few months we had some personal things. I got my my kidney and spleen removed, and you know, we sold those on the black market to get our crypto bags up. So now that that's out of the way, we are going to be ramping up the channel full throttle here. So expect, like I said, we're going to be doing, I'm going to shoot for a Monday through Friday schedule. So if you guys are looking forward to that, you know, we'll say tentatively 12 hours from now, maybe 11 hours from now, depending on when I crawl out of bed with bedhead. It'll be something around that time, but we will be starting back, you know, just covering the prices, covering the news, covering the crypto know-hows, the whereabouts of what everybody's talking about on the internet, probably around that time slot over the next few weeks, and we'll see how it goes. You know, we've been talking about this for a while, and this is something that's going to be happening. Obviously, we're going to be having videos coming out that are going to be kind of a little bit more different oriented. I want to do this thing where we're doing like specific videos for specific coins, almost like what we've always done, but better. So expect those videos to come out as well. And obviously, you know, you'll be getting the usual marketing campaign of that QR code in the top right corner. Oh yeah, we already covered that. But yeah, a real talk, guys, we are going to be doing the live streams. It's going to be a couple days a week. Like I said, Monday through Friday. Look for us on here around 7 or 8 o'clock Pacific time. Whenever I can, like I said, roll out of bed. Something like that. All right, so let's dive into it, guys. We had our little jokes there. You know, and it's been a while since we've been on here. So I'd like to welcome everybody. If you like the channel, you know, if you're new to the channel, we appreciate you guys checking us out, guys and girls around the world checking us out here. We have been growing here, guys. You know, it's kind of crazy that we're up to 3,000 subscribers now. And, you know, I never thought this channel would really be much of anything, you know, to be honest. I kind of got on here for fun. And it's really kind of exploded over the last year and a half, you know, and as it started exploding, what did I do? I ran and hid, and let it fizzled out, and now I'm back. So, you know, it's great to be here, guys, and welcome to all the new members that are part of the channel that have joined over the last couple of months, or really the last year. I know some people have, you know, I think you even had a comment the other day that one of the subscribers has been here since I started the channel, which was crazy, to think. So, you know, it's good to be here, guys. I'm happy to be here. We'll go maybe through some of these comments at some point. This is kind of just the introduction to what it is that we're going to be doing over the next few weeks. And, you know, that's fantastic. You know, I love that you guys are coming down here on a regular basis, even though I'm not here. The channel is still surprisingly growing, which is just absolutely insane. That the channel is just growing and I'm not even making videos. I can't imagine how many people we're going to reach in some of these communities that, you know, when we actually start doing videos again. I could only imagine that it would be a lot more than we're reaching now. And it, you know, like the channel's growing just with me doing nothing. You know, it's crazy. So let's dive into some of this stuff. I don't want to talk myself into circles, but you know, that will probably be inevitable here. Let's check in at some of the charts here. It looks like we're getting some, you know, I can't get the coin market cap, guys. I'll have to run some type of VPN. I should be doing that already down here. For some reason here in Baja, it doesn't come up. So maybe when I get back to my place in Lake Elsinore, where my primary residence is, I'll get on the computer there and we'll look at some coin market cap. But in the meantime, I'm down here in Baja, so, you know, bear with me here. We got CoinGecko. I think I had it on here. So let's check out CoinGecko. It looks like we're getting 3.4 trillion, 3.46 trillion world coin market cap. You know, it's so crazy how much these market caps are off. We're clocking in over, we'll just say we'll talk a approximately $3 trillion market cap, give or take a couple hundred billion here, for the sake of these two data providers here. But we're gonna start looking at CoinGecko a little bit too. I want to just have something other than world market cap. I feel like I'm the only person on the internet that looks at World Coin Index. And it, you know, we need to be kind of more in line with at least what people are talking about on YouTube and on the internet and that kind of thing. So, you know, the prices are looking pretty good, guys. You know, not gonna lie. If these are looking like lows, which I'm thinking, like I told you guys in the last couple of videos that I've been making, we've been talking about these just being the lows. These just might be like the new baseline prices if you're coming into crypto, which, I mean, that's kind of obvious, right? I mean, it's like saying, like, well, what prices are you going to pay? Well, these are the prices you're going to pay. But I'm talking about, like, this might be the bottom floor level of some of the prices now. And, you know, these prices have been kind of on the rise in some of the coins that we hold here on the channel. You know, most relatively notable is Bitcoin Cash recently. But Monero, Zcash sitting a little bit higher for the year. Monero doing pretty good as well. But some of these coins, you know, Dash, BSV, you know, Neo, Ethereum Classic, Ethereum Classic was up today. But some of the coins that we talk about here on the channel, they've, you know, they haven't really jumped too much since December. They kind of went down. And, you know, there might be, I told you guys, you know, there could be like a 200% gain if you guys are looking for a short-term game on some of these coins that we're talking about here on the channel. Because, like, you know, that's just kind of what we've seen over the last couple, you know, upticks in the market. We saw you know, Bitcoin climb from under 60,000 to 100,000. We saw BSV at the top of the list for the longest time. A year before that, we saw Bitcoin Cash on the, you know, the climb to 700 pretty much out of nowhere, which there was no really rhyme or reason. We had a bunch of people on these different news outlets giving us excuses why, like, oh, they got the ticker confused, just like the dumbest shit. So, like, we've seen a lot of coins kind of, you know, they've been kind of climbing at random. You know, we had that prediction on Solana back where I think it was February of 2024 where I said, like, it'd be funny if Solana just went up to 200 and then kind of just, you know, hung out below that for like a year and a half. And it's kind of funny because that's exactly what has happened with that particular coin. So we've been right about some stuff. Tron being one of the best coins pretty much since the fallout of FTX and Terra Luna, which, you know, I'm not going to say I called that, but we were talking about that too. And, like, we were talking about a lot of stuff. So, like I said, if you guys are catching us here for the first time, you know, we're not always right. We're never wrong in our own head, but we're not always right. But we are right about some stuff. And, you know, the stuff that we are right about, we hit home pretty much all the time. You know, pretty much all the time here. So, yeah, let's just dive right into it, guys. Let's look at some of the prices. You know, I've been kind of looking at these prices. We got some of these coins, some of these newer coins, say Arbitrum. Arbitrum was up like 20% today. This is that layer 2 on ETH. Some of these other coins that are like fan favorites, we're just going to be looking at them just for the fact that, you know, they're up a little bit. You know, they're up a little bit for the last couple months. They're up 100%. So, I mean, it's not like they're small amounts, but we're just pulling up some of the log charts. We're seeing that the growth is really there in a variety of coins. And we're just trying to refresh ourselves as we go back into the regular live streams, just so we can kind of make sure we know where the market's at. Because I'm going to be honest, with other than the coins that I've been watching on the channel, I have not been following every single coin. But that's only because I've had other stuff to do, guys. I mean, I got a private life of some sort. Let's see here, but we are going to be going through some of these coins here just because I need to check them out. I need to know what is going up and why it's going up, guys, because if we don't know why something's going up, we're just kind of just floating around. You know, we might get some good bets, but a lot of them probably are just going to be dog shit. You know, they're not going to go up. And that's not the type coins we want to be in. We want to make sure that we're looking at coins that have relatively strong communities, obviously the ones on the top 100, but more or less coins that we saw move last cycle that were relatively, you know, in like the top 100, top 50, that kind of thing, because we need to find out where those coins are at in the grand cycle that we're currently still in. You know, I know a lot of people are thinking we're not, but you know, a lot of people thinking we are. So we need to make sure that we're following that, because the log charts and the linear charts are starting to look kind of similar. And a lot of times when we see this, guys, we start seeing these massive jumps, and then we're all kind of caught with our pants down and our dicks in the apple pie, not knowing what the hell we're doing. You see what I mean? Do you get the joke here? American apple pie, American pie, or whatever. So my point is like there are a lot of coins that have started to move. Okay, that is for sure. Like, we're looking at coins that, you know, it's not just a day where we're pulling up charts trying to make it seem like something happening that is not really indeed happening. Like, we bottomed out on a lot of these coins back in April. We've started to see some pushes in coins that I didn't think we'd ever see move again. Like I told you guys, Funfair. I was looking at that coin the other day. I could not believe the 200% gain. I think it was 200% gain. I'm going to pull it up here just to see. I want to tell you the wrong numbers here. But, you know, I couldn't believe that we were seeing the type swings in some of these coins that are just like, these coins are like, not even, people aren't even talking about these guys. I mean, this is like who the hell on the internet has talked about Funfair over the last 7 years? Nobody. Okay, and I'm not running to tell you guys to go buy this particular coin. What we're trying to look about here on the channel is why certain coin structures, or why certain coin groups of certain coins move at certain times, why the structure of this market, yes, the structure of this market tends to move with these particular coins, and then like what is the flow, what is the linear, what is the log. We need to look about all these things to make sure that we know what the hell is going on, right? Let's see here. Let's get back here. I want to show you guys a couple different things. There have been some coins here that we need to put back on the radar here, okay? There's been some coins that have been moving, like, you know, that should be a clear indication right there. You guys have seen, you know, we've talked about Cardano quite a few times, but like, let's just look at this. Ready? Look at that. Okay, you see the log chart. You see how it kind of moves. Okay, that's obviously me moving the chart, but I'm saying, do you see where we're going here? So a lot of these coins have entered this trajectory. I know some of my word choices might not fit what we're talking about here, but we can pull up a couple. Let's see. Whoa, this Mori coin. No, Mori retired. All right, here we go. So see here, guys, we're starting to look at these log charts a little bit differently. It looks like they're starting to kind of, you know, I did this video a couple weeks ago. I know a lot of people watched it. I know a lot of people, you know, we make these Bitcoin Cash videos. We'll lose some subscribers. We'll get some new subscribers. But what I was trying to illustrate in that video was that once the graph kind of bowies out, like it comes out, right? You gotta look at these things in a three-dimensional space, guys. This is not just this is not a 2D world, okay? This is a 3D world, okay? So what'll happen is, guys, these graphs will zoom out, right? They'll zoom out. They'll literally pop out, right? It's not like we're zooming out at the graph. We're actually zooming out of the screen. What'll happen here a lot of times, and you can see this illustrated really well by the log graph. I think more on Cardano, but I feel like we're kind of moving into that same kind of trajectory with Bitcoin Cash, and maybe maybe arguably a couple other coins here like Monero. We'll pull them up here, but you see what I'm saying here. Like these jumps can be relatively small in the log chart. When we're looking at this, obviously the log chart illustrating the momentum factor from undistributed equal parts moving on the y-axis, right? From a math standpoint here. But basically what it's suggesting is that these jumps can be a lot more pronounced, but from the log chart, we can actually anticipate them happening before the fact of them actually happening. And what I mean by that is they look huge here. Here they don't look as big, right? The jumps don't look like they're so crazy and parabolic. We'll pull up Monero too, because I think Monero is another coin that kind of illustrates this same thing. And what's the point? What's the point of this? Well, you see the point of it right there on your screen. That jump is actually more of a guarantee now at this point, because it's been going like this for so long. And my point is, guys, is we could start one of these cycles down here. See Monero from February 2015, 2 years later, okay? If that happens again, we're going to 4,000 or 5,000 US dollars from 300. Okay, that's what I'm saying here. That's what's going to happen probably, I think, with a lot of coins. Especially if we're in kind of this idea that Bitcoin is at 100K and it's not really getting a lot of news attention, and we can kind of look at some of these log graphs and it kind of replicates the same kind of trajectory. And see Dogecoin here? It's the same thing here, guys. A lot of these coins are going to do the same thing. And these jumps right here don't really look as big right here, but they're actually massive. They're actually massive, like 20, in some cases, 20,000% gains. To be specific, we're being very specific here on these percentages, because like a lot of people don't really realize what a 200% gain is, 2,000%, and then a 20,000%. They can't understand the size difference in these numbers here. And that's what we talk about here on the channel, is we try to really get you to understand the opportunity that might take 7 to 8 years just to get in. These positions likely aren't built overnight for people watching the channel. A lot of the people that have watched the channel here for a while, they've been establishing positions over a long period of time, right? It's for sure. I don't know what this Mori coin keeps coming up on my screen for, but the idea of getting in on these positions almost, instantaneously, like we could climb to $600 and it doesn't look that crazy, even on a coin like BSV, right? You see the shrinkage, right? You see what I'm doing here with the graph and the log graph. It's the same numbers, guys. It's just the time and the intensity and the momentum to push these coins to these higher price points is more, in my opinion, illustrated by not only these log graphs, but some of these past timelines that we have on various coins, right? I think Ethereum Classic here is one we should probably take a peek at too, because it's been moving a little bit this week as well. And you see that, you can shrink that graph up, but like this line right here, this point in time, November 20th, to May, where the bull market kind of peaked at. We had some other coins like CRO and Crypto.com and things that kind of pumped towards the end of the year into November. But like that main jump for most coins was kind of in this period into May of 2021. And, it doesn't really look that much here, but obviously when we take it off back to linear chart, you see how massive those jumps are. And like, if you can capture gains on some of these, like these small periods in time where the market really rallies in some of these altcoins, you can literally catch like 20x gains, and it's almost baked in. Like if you can look at some of these coins here, like let's look at Binance Coin here, and you'll kind of see this kind of what I'm talking about here. You see these, like, there's not a lot of times where it seems on the log chart that it was really a bad time to buy, I guess is the way I'm trying to say this. On linear, it's a completely different story. You say, well, hey, knucklehead, obviously should have bought down here and sold up here. Well, yeah, but if you look at the log chart, don't be so sure. No, don't be so sure that there is that like perfect time to sell. Obviously there are some perfect time to sells when we see these log graphs shift into like a different almost category of gains. But then it's like, okay, where do you sell? And then like when you enter, it still becomes like a little skewed. You don't really see exactly the best time to re-enter these positions, but like here you do. Well, yeah, well, right there is where you sell, and right there is where you get in. Well, don't be so sure. Don't be so sure, because a lot of times you'll do that, and you know, good luck is what I tell people. Good luck. Pull here. I want to pull up a couple more of these coins. Look at a couple more here. Look at some coins. I've been buying some Neo. And like I said, still, even on Neo, even in these coins where it's like they're huge, there's these huge points in time where the coin's barreled up. And then there's these huge bear market periods. Like even on this log chart, it really doesn't seem like $100 is that hard for Neo to reach. Like even $1,000 doesn't seem that out of reach. But guys, we're at $5. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you is like the log chart shows that it's actually happened a few times. Like the log chart actually on this particular coin on Neo actually suggests that like the coin could probably go to $1,000 if we entered one of these cycles like we currently could be in, which from $5, guys, I mean, you got to do the math on some of this stuff. You're not going to get these type gains in any investment mechanism anywhere. You know, and it's not a matter of like, it's risk reward. Yeah, you're risking a lot by coming into these coins, right? But you know, it's happened here. It's also came down to less than $7. I want to say we hit near the $6 range. Maybe, yeah, here we are. $5.74. We went back up to $110. Okay, so that's over a 20x right there. And that wasn't even a massive shift. That was kind of an altcoin pump that happened in line with quite a few altcoins. Obviously, Dogecoin, Ethereum Classic, some superseded others, but that's still a 20x. And so one might say, well, dude, it's at $5. Well, yeah, it's been at $5 before and went to 110. It's also been at 18 cents and gone over to $100. So, you know, we're talking massive percentage gains. We're talking 2,000% up, 5,000% up. You know, most people on the stock market and some of these other traditional investments, they're lucky if they even get 20-30% a year. You know, they're actually shooting for, you know, those are like the numbers they're shooting for. So 20%, you know, is good. But in the crypto world, we're looking for 2,000%, right? That's what, you know, it's happened a few times. So it's not like there's just one point in time where, oh, I'm trying to relive this past event. No, it happened here. It happened here, and it questionably happened here because these still are 200-300% gains on not this particular coin, but some of these others. And it's like, you know, it's just, it's kind of a risk reward thing, guys. It's like, it takes time to build out these positions. You're not going to get a lot of these positions built overnight. And as we see, a lot of people are now in the chat because they've came down to the chat multiple times, and they've seen that we've been right. We've been moving in the right direction quite a few times, and that's why everybody's here. See, we got Mr. Full, we got Smooth Operator, we got JH, we got a lot of people, and Jay, the bags are the same. You know, that's the thing. It's like the bags are obviously bigger because I keep buying, but you know, for the most part, the bags are typically the same. We have heavier money invested in some of these coins like Bitcoin Cash, some of the payment narratives, Bitcoin SV, one of the bigger holdings. So not community favorites, right? And I know people hear these terms, they hear Bitcoin Cash, well, you're a Bitcoin Cash guy, but you know, you're a Bitcoin SV guy, you're a hypocrite, you're a crypto hypocrite. Well, it's like, not really. I'm just like pro coins that I think have cool communities, guys. That's all it really is. And I'm pro coins that tend to work very well. You know, you don't hear me coming on here and talking about you know, Miso token or whatever that token was that was just coming up here. You don't hear me come on and talk about Mori coin. You know, it's up 200%. You know, I'm sure there's an audience out there, a Twitter audience that's out here talking about this particular coin today. But, you know, is it worth me damaging my community? Is it worth us talking about? Probably not. I mean, it looks like it's a Solana contract thing. You know, that's kind of what happened with this Solana thing, guys, is like Solana had this boom. We had this Solana boom of 2024. And then we had all these people, all these whales on Solana that went to create their own token, and now are trying to dump their Solana tokens by creating an altcoin token on Solana. You know, we didn't see this, or I didn't see this back in 2024. We couldn't put our finger on what was going on. But you remember that video where I was walking around the parking lot, dazed and confused and utterly unaware, and we were talking about Solana hitting $200 here soon, and we thought there might be a scam, and it might, you know, this might not be good for crypto people. Well, it turned out, guys, we were actually indeed right about that. And it wasn't like we're trying to seek gratification and everybody cheer on their computer screen to say how accurate we all were, but I wasn't the only one saying that. You know, and there's been people that have relatively posted on the channel here recently that I guess, you know, found this video later on, and they have commented on some of this stuff that we've you know, that's, I mean, I don't want to say it. I think that's why the channel might be growing without me being on here, guys, is because some of the stuff that we've said has ended up happening. You know, it actually has ended up being true, and it's not because, like I said, I'm not the all-coming Messiah. It's not anything like that. I'm not looking for gratification, although I tend to seek it. But it's actually happening, guys. A lot of the stuff that we said has actually ended up being true. And again, it has nothing to do with just us looking at some of the fundamentals, analyzing some of the stuff that's happened over the timeline of the 8 years I've been in this stuff. And that people that have been on the channel watching it as it's going on. Because, like, if you look at most people on the internet, guys, they're not talking about the stuff we're talking about. It's not just the coins we're talking about. It's the timelines that are included in not only some of the coins, but some of the forgotten narratives that people just tend to not talk about here, guys. So again, we are on the channel, guys. We are in the chat. We are checking in with you this Sunday evening, letting you know that we're going to be doing some morning chats coming into the next quarter. You know, we're at like, what, half the year now? You know, half the year. So the next half of the year is going to be pretty lit. Okay, lit. But it's going to be pretty exciting, I think. I think not only with prices, but here's some stuff that we're talking about here on the channel. And yeah, I mean, even Jay just threw in the comment, you know, I think that, like, you know, I think Jay's right. You know, it's like now there's people on the internet. You know, I heard Ryan Giffen the other day talking about Bitcoin Cash going to 20K. So I mean, there's people on the internet other than me that think some of these coins could actually pop off. And like, is Bitcoin Cash going to be the next Dogecoin of, you know, 2025 or 2026? I can't guarantee that, but like, from a fundamental standpoint, you know, who knows? Maybe Bitcoin Cash will go up to 20K. Maybe we'll get Bitcoin SV going up to 3,000 or 4,000. And if you look at those numbers, guys, when it starts kind of to sink in and you ask yourself, what's the likelihood of this token with no liquidity that's gone up 5,000% in a day, but there's like no liquidity on it? We ask ourselves why. You know, what is our opportunity in something like that? You hear all these people on the internet talking about all these different tokens that are just token contracts on Solana, token contracts on Ethereum, token contracts on BNB, token contracts on Tron. I mean, those people can talk about whatever they want for as long as they want, but they're not ever going to reap any of the reward, because these tokens that they think are going to go up are actually going to be flatlining to zero in terms of the actual native coin that their blockchain that they're built on, aka Solana, aka Ethereum, aka Tron, BNB, and you know, that's kind of what we're talking about here on the channel. That's a little bit different, is we're trying to place ourselves in positions that potentially could experience long-term growth, but as well as experience big growth that potentially people will miss. You know, there has to be somebody coming in here that is, you know, making this happen for us, guys. We're already in the positions. You see what I'm saying? Do you guys, are you kind of buying into what I'm saying here? And I think there was a comment just thrown in the chat here. If Neo goes to $100, it would be legend. And yeah, it would be kind of cool, but it would also only be going to where it's already gone a few times, that's kind of the ironic part here, is that, you know, Neo is just one coin that I'm betting on. You know, I'm betting on this particular coin. I don't know if it's going to ever reach $100 again, but like, as I'm establishing positions at $5, you know, it's a pretty big opportunity, right? And we got it pulled up against Ethereum here. So just give me a moment here. Like, if you got to understand, guys, this zigzag cycle, look at these jumps here. So like, if we just go up here, and you got to understand here another thing with these coins that we're talking about here on the channel, there's a difference in a scam coin and a coin that goes through different phases, right? We saw Dogecoin happen with this. Let's pull up Dogecoin so you'll see. There are coins that go trend down against certain big name coins like Ethereum and Bitcoin that sometimes they trend down, like right here they trim down for what, 2 years. Look, here's the same, that looks like Neo, that looks like the Neo chart I just showed you, right? You know, and then there was like another 3-year period where it like went down more. But like, if we were looking at Dogecoin compared to Ethereum back in 2017 and 18, like it had one giant jump and then it just went down. It bobbled up a few times against Ethereum, and then obviously Ethereum went down, it went up. Ethereum went down to $80, $78 in 2019 when the market, when BSV forked to BCH, and then it dumped. That was like the final fork. So we look at these different narratives, right? We look at these different narratives, and look, here it was right here. There's the last one. Look, and it went up right here. And then what I'm saying is like, you know, then for like whatever mathematical reason it was, it did this, right? It did this. And that gain right there, guys, I don't think people really understand that, how big that gain really is. And like, this is just one example. I'm not saying that I'm not saying Neo is going to do this against Ethereum. I'm just saying this chart, let me show you here. This chart looks like Neo. I mean, this chart looks like Neo, and I don't mean like the chart exactly looks like Neo. I'm just saying it has similar properties, right? It has similar properties. And I would go as far to bet that there's some type of mathematics running in the background on a lot of these crypto exchanges that people like us are not aware about, and we get a massive spike on some of these altcoins. That is what I'm betting on. And again, we're against Ethereum, guys. We're not looking at dollars, so it's going to look different, obviously, when we go on dollars. But that's what I'm saying. Crypto is already winning against dollars, guys. So we don't have to worry necessarily so much if crypto is winning against the US dollar or the Chinese yuan or the Japanese yen or the Russian ruble or the Thai baht. We know that crypto is winning against fiat currencies, but what we don't know, and what people don't know, and as you see, the dollar looks completely different. It looks totally different, right? Look. So if we have this proof of stake mechanism on Ethereum, we have this downtrend against this Bitcoin thing, this BTC thing, the coin that is bringing new people in. Could that shift? Could that shift? Could the altcoins go up against Ethereum? Could that proof of stake have some type of mathematics back behind it? That's some type of backdoor or some type of auditing mechanism on the transactions on Bitcoin based on wallets on the exchange, the liquidity on and off the on the exchange, and then the tokens that are off the exchange. Could there be some type of mathematics working in the background that could cross-reference transactions to the point where the liquidity basically gets reversed, and then that Ethereum and altcoin pump becomes the auditing mechanism for the newly entered Bitcoin transactions that are basically bringing new people in. So I don't know if that's more of a philosophical thing, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. There could be some type of mathematics that we don't fully understand with crypto that I've seen happen on a variety of coins like Dogecoin, like Ethereum Classic, in my own personal investment world, that makes me think that this could actually play out. And if that did actually play out, guys, we could potentially be on the side of the trade, if you are trading, or the side of the holding, where now we become the audit of the new people coming in, rather than, we've been going down at first, right? We've been going down over, questionably 5 out of the 8 coins that I hold, pretty much the majority of the time, like BSV, Bitcoin Cash, its last bull run, that actually ends up reversing those transactions based on liquidity and on the exchanges, and coins off the exchanges somehow is mathematically formulated into a rise on Ethereum as dominance on Bitcoin drops, the altcoins go up, and then those transactions become the auditing mechanism, vice versa, how we've currently been in over the last 4 to 5 years. Again, it's all speculation. I don't know. Maybe we're just fucking going down and these coins we hold are going to end up being worthless. But that's the thing. It's like they keep bouncing up and down. The coins that we talk about here on the channel actually kind of bounce all around when the market really isn't in the same. Like we saw that with Monero, right? We saw the market. Monero was coming kind of like this inverse property or inverse, inverse move to like Bitcoin all 2024. All 2024. We kept saying it like, why is Monero, going up every, why is Monero like inversely running against all these, big name cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and this kind of stuff? Why is Ethereum now coming down when it was going up? It's just, they're bigger coins. It's different than saying that than like a token contract on some random altcoin being up 5,000%. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not so surprised by, you could say that same thing. Well, all coins, every single coin, goes up randomly if it's an altcoin. Like, well, not really, because token contracts are not coins. Tokens are token contracts built on certain alt blockchains, right? There's tokens built on Solana, there's tokens built on Waves, there's tokens built on Tron, Ethereum. And yeah, it's not so crazy when those go 5,000% up one way and then down to, and then people buy it and it goes to zero. We know that's going to happen. But what we can't figure out, or what I can't fucking figure out, is why some of these altcoins spike inversely proportioned to Ethereum, the market, and Bitcoin, and this trifecta type way. That we're kind of just left wondering, like, are these the hidden gems to the crypto market in terms of if we don't want to just support Bitcoin, or if we don't want to support Solana when it's the only coin going up? And I think the answer to that is absolutely yes, right? I think the answer to that is absolutely yes. And that's what we're betting on here on the channel, guys, because we're not looking for, like I said, we're not looking for, or at least I'm not looking for, like, 200 to 500%. I'm looking for, like, that 2,000 to 20,000% gain, and if not, I'll just hold. It's not a big deal to me. I'll just keep acquiring more of these coins, because honestly, like, even though the coins that I'm holding are down right now, they're not going to be down long term based on just the money printing happening and the proportions to how they rise with crypto in general. Like, I know NEO is going to go back up to $100. I'm looking for it to go to 1,000. I know Bitcoin Cash is going to go to $1,600 again, and down from $80, right? Remember, it was at $80. It was like at $78, just like Ethereum in 2019. I'm not saying that number. I'm just letting you know. Ethereum was down to, I bought Ethereum at $78. It went up to what, 4,700 or whatever, and losing my numbers here. Let's look this up here. I need to back up what I say. I don't need to just say stuff. Let's look at Ethereum against Ethereum. Oh, it's a solid line. It's pretty stable. Look at that. That's what I mean here, guys. It's like, look, that's Ethereum against Ethereum. The price of these things, this is an unstoppable system, guys. There's nothing that's going to stop this. The only thing that's going to stop this is your inability to buy it into what it is that we're talking about here on the channel. Nobody's going to stop this, guys. That's what I keep telling you. Bitcoin is always worth one Bitcoin. Ethereum is always worth one Ethereum. Well, not so much like Bitcoin, because, now this is proof of stake. This maybe not so much the case, but you guys see what I'm saying. One Bitcoin, obviously one Bitcoin, one Ethereum, but not one Solana for one Solana. Not one token contract on Solana per Solana. Does that make sense, guys? Do you see kind of what I'm talking about? What I got pulled up right now is Ethereum price against Bitcoin. See, it's been going down ever since this proof of stake thing happened, ever since this Terra Luna thing happened. It was almost like, the moves are just, once you start looking at crypto, guys, I guess what I'm trying to tell you is you start seeing patterns in a lot of different things, and you can almost ignore 99% of the crypto market. Like you really can. Because like I know people are talking about these random altcoins. I know there's coins on the top 100s that I could point out that I know are not going to be on the top 100 in the next 10 years. You know, I know they're not going to be. But I also know that there's some coins on this top 100 that are going to be on the top 100 for the next 10 years, like Stellar Lumens, Bitcoin Cash. You know, like you see me skipping a lot of these. Like you see me skipping a lot of these. Like Litecoin, like Monero, you know, Uniswap. Just some of these. And there's different reasons why. Because a lot of these are just early Bitcoin holders, guys, that gone on to create their own liquidity trading pairs against Bitcoin. That's pretty much what a lot of this is. But yeah, so guys, you are here on the channel, guys. We are going to dive into, I don't think we're going to make it to comments tonight, but I appreciate you guys leaving them. We will dive back into the chat here and give you kind of the rundown. Yeah, I think we'll maybe save comments for another episode. But as always, guys, we are here on the internet all the time. Like I said, we are going to be doing some live streams here coming up here in the next couple weeks. We're going to try to set like I told you, if you just coming in, I saw some people have came in, they came back in. You got a time frame on NEO? I mean, I got a pretty good idea that, you know, it was one of the last coins to dump in this last bull run-esque time, right? We saw Bitcoin go from 60 up to 112 and then down to 78 or 72 and then back up to 109, 110 or 107, something around there. And in this period of time, I saw NEO being a huge drop. So that's just kind of what I've been buying. You know, before that, I told you guys I was buying Zcash, right? Before that NEO, that 4 or 5 months, before that time from December to now, it was Dash and Zcash, right? That's what I was telling you. Mostly Zcash. I really wasn't buying Dash, but so yeah, there's different times where I'm buying certain stuff. I don't have a time frame on it. T Dizzy saying Litecoin. Yeah, I mean, I think a Litecoin is another. Yeah, don't feel fucked at Doug. If you're buried in at Ethereum Classic at 28, don't sell at 100. Don't sell at 150. You're gonna be making a mistake. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's a lot of times. And Doug, I'm not saying you're gonna do that, but here's the deal: is you're saying you feel stuck at big Ethereum Classic at 28. The problem is when you sell Ethereum Classic at 80, 150, you're selling it up obviously 4x from where you're at, you know, 3 to 4x, 5x, you're getting a 300-400% gain. You think you're doing yourself a favor. But we have a lot of people, there are a lot of coin holders that have sold much higher than you, that bought at they bought Ethereum Classic at like almost 200 when it peaked at like $181, $190 on some exchanges in 2021. A lot of those people have sold in this, you know, this downward spiral since the fallout of Terra Luna and FTX and all these various things. And those people have created this new crypto world we're currently in that you need to really understand like where your positions are. So obviously you just told me you're at 28 bucks. Ethereum Classic's at what? 17, 16, 79, $16.79. So basically, you know, it'd have to go up what, 75% for you to break even. You know, in the world of stocks, that's almost, oh, I got in now and I got 75% gain. I'm making a great investment. But in the world of crypto, that's not so much how it works. And that's why all these investment firms and hedge funds and Chase Bank and all these banks around the world are trying to get in this stuff, because they're understanding fundamentally now how unstoppable cryptocurrency actually is. I'd be happy as hell if I got ETC. If I had a big bag of ETC at 28 bucks, I'd be happy being down damn near 100% on my investment, or 50% on my investment. Sorry, 50%. We'll say 40%, because it's obviously that 17 bucks. But you get my point. So don't look at you being down, You are down right now, but I'm telling you that the crypto market can really shift. It can shift so fast that like you wouldn't even be able to get those positions you have back at the 24 or $28, Doug, that you're currently in. And that's kind of where I'm sitting with a lot of these coins that I've had. You know, I had massive fucking bags of Dogecoin, massive bags of Dogecoin that you guys would not even believe. And now I can't even get back in those positions, you know, and same with Bitcoin Cash, like massive bagged currently, like where Bitcoin Cash is currently sitting. And that's kind of the mind fuck of crypto. It's like you really got to understand how this stuff works and understand that the value is in buying the coins ongoingly. That's why I've been buying so much NEO recently, because I know NEO is a buy. You know, I told you guys I found out it was on crypto.com. I've been buying it since it dropped down under $5 because I know that coin's going to go to 100. I know that I got to play short-term gains to get in on some of these coins where I can get that 20x, that 10 to 20x on a newer investment, and then I can roll that back over into a bear market and then establish positions in other coins, as well as NEO, you know, as well as getting in on coins that you can get back in when the market's down. But yeah, don't think you're stuck in a coin. You know, that's the worst thing. I was stuck in on Dogecoin from 2019 to 2021, and I sold over 300% up and then missed 2,000% gains. So don't make that mistake. Yeah, you should be buying more right now. You should be buying way more Ethereum Classic right now, Litecoin as well. So let's kind of wrap it up here. Satoshi's talking about a God candle on BSV soon. That's what I'm saying. We could get a God candle across the altcoin market soon. And you know, we've seen some coins, like I told you, I think Sui was up. Some of these newer coins were up like 30% for the week. What are we up here? Let's just take a peek here. And again, a lot of these coins, guys, I don't even own. I'm just telling you, you know, they're moving. $48 on Stay, CI, or I don't know what people talk about this coin. Arbitrum up 32%. And I don't know everything about every coin, but I do know you guys were telling me to buy Kaspa back in the day. And look, Kaspa is a beautiful illustration of like what Bitcoin looks like in a log chart. I'm gonna pull Bitcoin up so you guys know, so you guys don't just think I'm blowing smoke up your ass here. I know what it is that we're talking about. See, it's like very similar to Kaspa. This log chart, guys, is suggesting that this thing's gonna keep moving. There hasn't ever been a fallout in crypto unless you just buy a complete scam coin, which is about 99% of the market, I would say, but not any of the coins that we're talking about here on the channel. It's up 38,900%, right? 38,933%. And you guys were telling me to buy it down here, okay? And it doesn't look like it's that far, but look, when I take the log chart off, it's way the hell down here, right? You guys were telling me to buy it down here in 2023, right here. I said, no, it's too high. I'm going to wait till it comes down. Can't get them all. So that's what we got going here on the channel here, guys. We got a lot of stuff here panning out for you. And I didn't really show you that. I didn't have it on there. But like, look at the log chart. Look at the log chart on Kaspa. So 38,000% up on Kaspa. Look at that log chart. You guys see it? So I guess we'll kind of conclude on that. Like I told you, we're going to be doing live streams back into next week. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday might be kind of hit or miss, but like into that next part of the week here, into that following week, we're going to try to find some footing here on cryptocurrency theory, where we're going to be doing live streams, and it's going to be great. We're going to have a lot of stuff happening. I'm going to be reaching out to people that I'm connected with in the crypto YouTube world, and seeing if we can get some like, I don't know, we're going to be doing something. I don't know what it'll be, but I got some ideas. And we're going to be basically making some videos here on various coins that are, you know, specifically oriented towards what I think is about to happen. But we're going to be doing these live streams, like I told you, a lot more now, probably in the morning time, you know, probably as early as like tomorrow or Tuesday. And then kind of, we'll see kind of what happens over the next couple weeks. Like I said, I've increased my crypto purchasing over the, you know, the last couple, I don't know, it's been about 2 months, I guess. from what we were doing in 2023 and 24 when we were basically just hanging on by the thread of our underwear, telling you guys like, hey, you know, we have this crypto channel, but damn, this stuff needs to go up. Now we're moving into the second part of this where we're going to be aggressively buying. We're going to be doing a lot more live streams, a lot more videos, you know, car videos, the stuff you guys like. And, you know, I think this stuff is going to probably be pretty damn badass. So hope you guys stick around. Like I said, if you guys are on X or Twitter, please share the video. Let people know that you're part of this channel, and that you're part of this channel and you're trying to get this channel to grow. Because I'm unfortunately, guys, not able to get on those platforms. And let me know, like I told you guys, a QR code in the top right corner if you guys want to send me a Bitcoin Cash payment. I get that immediately, and they're a lot of fun just to get and to like know people out there actually, you know, sending crypto from anywhere in the world down here to Baja California. And like I said, keep it light, guys, but keep your buying aggressive. But don't be flustered if you're frustrated, if you're in some of these coins and you think you're in too deep and you're like, well, when is it going to go up? Because when they do go up to back like 200-300% from where you bought it, the worst thing you can do in that moment is sell it, because right when you do, they're going to rocket up. And let other people do that. Let other people rocket your coins up. You know, and I wouldn't sell a coin under 10x gains. You know, from my past experience, I would not sell a coin unless it was a 10x from where I bought it at. You might say, well, dude, you're going to be hanging on to these coins forever. Well, not really, because I'm buying coins I'm not just buying a coin one time. So like I have Bitcoin SV that I bought at 300 bucks. I have Bitcoin SV that I bought at 17 bucks. Then I had no Bitcoin BSBB that I bought for like 2 years. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like your average buying should never stop. That's the problem, is when you stop buying coins and then you try to come in and all of a sudden when the market's going up, and then you just miss everything. So hope you guys stick around here, guys. Like I said, share the videos on Twitter X and wherever you're at. You know, wherever you're at. I don't know where you're at, but you know, let people know that we are out here. There's a lot of us out here on the channel, you know, out there in the real world and the crypto world. There's a lot of people out there that do not know about this channel, and they don't know that you're on the channel. So I feel like, you know, you guys are part of the channel. So, you know, let everybody know that you're out there and that you're holding these coins and that you're buying these coins and you're supporting these coins, because we are the communities. All right, guys. So I'll talk to you later. Drop it in the comments, guys, and let me know. And we'll be back tomorrow, I guess. Talk to you later. Take care.